36, yeah. 36. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari. Thanks, Prema. Gopi Jana Balava Jai Giri Varadari Jai Giri Varadari Gopi Jana Balava Jai Giri Varadari Jai Giri Varadari Yasodanandana Jai Braja Jararanjana Jai Braja Jararanjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Radha Gokulananda Radha, Gokulananda Radhe. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo, Nitai. Gol Premanande Hari Haribo, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shishi Gaunitai Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai, Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman Ki Jai, Gol Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. I got a message yesterday that the speaker who was supposed to give class, he wanted me to give class because I was wondering who is the speaker. It was Vaisheshika Prabhu supposed to give class today. So today as an imposter, I'm filling up his big shoes. You know, it's like when a father goes out, and then the child, you know, he puts the biggest slips on, you know, of the father and walks around the house, you know. He's my big brother, Vaisheshika. I was actually with the one, you know, who invited him here many years ago for the first time. And he's doing great service, making lots of disciples. And he's a good devotee. So we'll pray to him that he will empower me to say a few words here. So today's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, text, we got 36, correct, on the board? 36. I think it's 36. Okay, so we'll offer our pranam to the literally incarnation of Lord Krishna, Srila Vyasadeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Brahma's prayers for creative energy. I just managed to flip through this morning a little bit. I just gave a class a couple of weeks ago, isn't it? So it's similar. Okay, now Lord Brahma, he finished speaking, and now is the Lord speaking. This verse is about the instruction of the Lord into the heart of Lord Brahma, how to proceed with the empowerment, the creation. Rida Kavaye. There is one verse in the Bhagavatam, Rida Kavaye. You know, he becomes a great learned poet, Lord Brahma, by receiving the empowerment in his heart. And that's how he learned how to speak, how to create and how to love the Lord. He's the best devotee, actually. That's what the Acharya, they say. Lord Brahma is the most dear devotee to Lord Krishna, to Lord Narayan, in the material environment. Aham Bija Pradapita is the head of the Sampradaya, Brahma, and then Lord Chaitanya, he added on Gaudiya Sampradaya. Even Lord Chaitanya, he accepted Lord Brahma as his Lord, and he's also in the prayer of the Brahma, what is it? Yeah, in the evening arti. What does this do? Adi? Arti, Korena Brahma, yeah, and Lord Shiva. So worshipped by Lord Chaitanya. So we shouldn't think it's just merely a demigod. So actually, without Lord Brahma, we wouldn't be sitting here. He's the one who created all of us. Of course, he facilitated the creation. The jivas, they were already dormant in the, we were all of us dormant into the belly of Lord Narayan. He was pregnant. The Lord, time to time, gets pregnant with all the planets, living entities, and he keeps generating, giving birth. He's the original father, but then he appoints Lord Brahma to be the facilitator, to invite all of us in this material world. And here, so the Lord is speaking to him after Brahma finishes his prayers, and we'll see what the Lord says. So, verse 36. Gyato ham bhavata. How do you spell this now? Tva? Because if there was a point, then would be tva adiya, but because, so it's tva, right? Tva. Adya durvinyeyo pi dehinam yan mam tvam manyase yuktam bhutendriya gunatmavi yatoham bhavatattvadya durvigyeyo pidehinam yanmam tvam manyase yuktam bhutendriya gunatmabi. Gentlemen. Any ladies, Matajis or Vaishnavi? That's enough. That's enough. So, word by word, with the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Yata, known, aham, myself, bhavata, by you, tu, but, adiya, today, do, difficult, vijeya, to be known, api, in spite of, dehinam, for the conditioned soul, yat, because, mam, me, tvam, you, manyase, understand, ayuktam, without being made of, bhuta, material elements, indriya, material senses, guna, material modes, atmabi, and false ego like the conditioned soul. Translation. Although this is the Lord speaking, Lord Brahma has finished his prayers, his speech. Now the Lord opened his eyes. Yat pundarikaksha. Every time we read that verse, so nice when Radhanath Swami, every time before the any yagya or before giving initiations, he told me once, he said that initiation is formality, any yagya is formality, any worship is, but actually what is important, it's by remembering those lotus eyes of the Lord when they open up. And here they opened up at the response of Lord Brahma prayers. And that motion is called pundarikaksha. Anyone who remembers these beautiful eyes, he will never take birth anymore. And it's more important than being born, in a Brahmana family or being initiate or non-initiate. Just by remembering the lotus eyes of the Lord, one becomes purified. Millions of times more than, you take birth and get initiated again and again and again. So, this is very important moment here. The Lord opened his eyes, and Lord Brahma, he had darshan of those beautiful eyes. What is the prayer? Ya pundarikaksha. Guru, the Guru. Yeah. That. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Adiguru Prabhu is a Pandit, just came back from India, and he's a nice boy. Also today is the appearance day of a very good friend of mine, and this person gave birth to a wonderful Vaishnavi. That's the devotee behind you. You all know the name, I haven't even said, is the father of Guru Shakti Prabhu. Please bless him and give him your best wishes. Again, he's the seed-giving father of great Vaishnavi. We all know Guru Shakti. She's very dear to Lord Chaitanya for always being engaged on book distribution. Anyway, we don't want to get diverted too much. So the Lord's eyes, beautiful. Like Trump says, beautiful. Really. It's just beautiful. Everything says it's beautiful. Now, Although I am not easily knowable by the conditioned soul, you have known me today because you know that my personality is not constituted of anything material, and specifically not of the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. Please repeat after me. Although I am not easily knowable by the conditioned soul, you have known me today because you know that my personality is not constituted of anything material, and specifically not of the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. So here is a little context for you all. What are the 5 elements, gross elements? The ladies? Let's ask the ladies. What are they?
Earth, water, fire, air.
Wonderful.
Fire, air, and
Wonderful. The subtle one? Beautiful. Like Trump says, beautiful. So it's, and this is the qualification of any devotee who is trying to perceive the personality of Godhead. First of all, it's not enough, aham brahmasmi, to understand that we are spirit soul, but there is something more to understand, that this soul is connected in yoga, in bhakti yoga, to the Supreme Soul. And who is this personality? And what is made of? To understand Krishna, one has to never make a mistake that he's made out of material bodies, like we all have. Of course, in the Bhagavatam, the Lord, he manifests his Virat Rupa, which is the material energy, the mountains, the eyes and the moon, as his eye, the sun and the moon as his eyes, the mountain as his muscles, the rivers as his veins, and what else? Any other deception? The trees, as the hair on the body. What else? Yes. Yes, the ocean has the stomach. Day and night it is blinking. Yes, correct, Adiguru. Yeah. So it's beautiful. But that is for neophyte devotees. The Lord, he manifests his body also as Virat Rupa to help the conditioned soul to appreciate his energy. It's like, what is it? Bhagavad Gita says, if you can't do bhakti yoga, you do karma yoga. If you can't do karma yoga, you do jnana yoga. If you can't do jnana yoga, stanga yoga. So it's like, it gives a chance. If you can't see me spiritually, that I have a form, but you can't see it, so therefore I manifest my material form. So if you can't see Krishna spiritually, then you can see Krishna, his material body, which is also purifying. That's why we have to pledge allegiance and respect and being honorable to the with our dealings with the material energy, because it's non-different from the body of Krishna. Can you hear me? So, but that is for the neophyte people, materialistic people. Slowly, when they say they wake up and, it's a beautiful sun today, beautiful sunshine. They glorify, the eyes of Krishna. But they don't know that it belongs to the Lord. But it's still, you're addressing directly to the body of the Lord and indirectly to the spiritual body of the Lord. Just like the Acharya, they mentioned, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions about the meeting of Duryodhana and Arjuna. When they went to see Krishna, both they needed help from the Lord, when there was the battle of Kurukshetra ensued. What Duryodhana asked for. And he was sitting right to the head of Krishna, and Arjuna to the feet of Krishna. So when Krishna opened his eyes, he just saw, Arjuna first, and he inquired from Arjuna, my friend, how can I help you? And Duryodhana jumped in and said, no, I've been here before him. So you have to ask me what do I need, what I want. What did he ask for? Yes. He didn't ask for Krishna. You see, it's like ignorant people, materialist people. They are more fascinated by the material flickering energy of the Lord. They worship more the energy, the six opulence of Krishna, the beauty, power, fame, wisdom, all these things. These are energy of the Lord, wealth. But the devotee of Krishna, Arjuna, he chose very wisely. I want you, my Lord. Even though Duryodhana, Krishna said, he's taken everything, all the army, so I've given him everything, I've got nothing. What can I give you now, Arjuna? Arjuna said, well, I've got you. And Krishna said, but I can't fight. It doesn't matter. He said, but I can drive your chariot. Even by doing humble service to his devotee, Bhaktavatsala, driving his chariot, he induced Arjuna to victory. Why? Because the spiritual body of the Lord, it's always superior to his energy. So materialist people worship Virat Rupa, whereas devotees, we are all here, we are captivated by the body of the Lord, spiritual body of the Lord. Of course, we can't see Krishna at the moment. We see a piece of marble or a piece of stone or some wood. When we take Lord Jagannath for a ride, some people, they see a piece of wood, even the devotees. But we can't see the Lord. So what to do? We get purified. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, don't worry, don't be concerned too much trying to see Krishna. Just show up and make yourself available that the Lord will see you. That's more important. So, what to do? If we can't learn to love what we see around us, we can never learn to love what we don't see. We can't see Krishna, but we see the devotees, we see the guru, we see the, of course, material energy. We connect everything, with Krishna, and we learn to love these things first. And then, when the exercise is perfected, completed, then we learn to love what we can't see. I've given up myself, personally. I don't want to sound as a pashanti or offensive or anything, trying to squeeze my eyes and see, come on, my dear Lord, make a move, drop a flower or show yourself that you are God. No, it's an impudent attempt. So when I come to the temple, I just open my eyes, have a darshan, and allow the Lord seeing me. That's the mood. We have to allow Krishna to see us. Of course, for many of us, and be it like Vaisheshika Prabhu said, the service, and the other day, the service is our saving grace. Like, I put something on Facebook. My temple is outside there in the street. and my deities are the books. And this is the correct mentality, really. It's not that I won't eulogize, my understanding, because that's where we find Krishna in our service, the association of the Guru. When I go out and distribute books, that's when I'm with my spiritual master, even though 23 years ago he's left the planet. And what to do? It's very saddening. You lose the Guru. It's not a small thing. It's not a very small thing. You lose sight of your directions. You become confused, especially when so many confusions, controversy, and problems, camps, cliques, everything. So much is going on in our society. I don't want to sound critical of, but there are problems. In every religion, there are problems. In every relationship, there are problems. If people sometimes tell me in the street, do you as a Hare Krishna, you don't have any problem? I said, of course. Maybe we have more problem than you do. Of course we do. If you tell people that we have no problems, then we're lying, trying to sell them something. That's what business people do. They tell a lie in order to sell something. But anyway, so the service is our salvation. And we come to the temple for kirtan, for association, for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Usually I stay home, I hear Bhagavatam class online. I have a darshan online. And then it's up to the Lord when He wants to open up His eyes. It took Lord Brahma, how many years, Adiguru, did he perform penances? Thousands of celestial years, not terrestrial years. And, it's not that the first day, you feel tired in meditation. We do one day fast, and we already think we are close to Krishna. Is he going to talk to us or jump out of the bush, So, Lord Brahma, it took him 1,000 celestial years just for the Lord to open up His eyes. We have to leave this prerogative to the Lord when He wants to show Himself to us. Meantime, we carry on serving. That's what Prabhupada says. Sorry, I felt I had to say something on this translation. We'll read the purport, a short one anyway, but a beautiful one. That's what Trump says. Knowledge of the supreme absolute truth does not necessitate a negation of the material manifestation, but understanding of spiritual existence as it is. To think that because material existence is realized in forms, therefore spiritual existence must be formless, is only a negative material conception of spirit. The real spiritual conception is that spiritual form is not material form. Brahma appreciates the eternal form of the Lord in that way. And the personality of Godhead, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai, Sitaram Lakshmana Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaunitai Ki Jai. And the personality of Godhead approved of Brahma's spiritual conception. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord condemned the material conception of Krishna's body, which arises because he is apparently present like a man. What is that verse that Lord Krishna says, anyone who sees my body as material, they're doomed. Mamuda, come on. And then? You're supposed to know the whole verse. Sorry. At least you know more than me. Sorry, what is that? Oh, I heard some. What is it? Beautiful. Very nice. So, the Lord Himself, He said, that we have to try to understand that He's not made of this blood, water, matter, mucus, and all these elements that is, present in our body. Which arises because He is apparently present like a man. The Lord may appear in any of His many, many spiritual forms, but He is not materially composed, nor has He any difference between body and self. That is the way of conceiving the spiritual form of the Lord. Just like when He comes as a Varaha, we'd say the hog or the pig, whatever you want to call it. There is no difference between that form and the Lord. He chose to appear, wonderfully, beautifully in that form. He comes as a tortoise. The tortoise symbolizes, the humility of the Lord. Varahadev symbolizes the protection of the Lord. He's the one who protects. He protects Mother Earth and all of us from being attacked by Hiranyaksha. He comes as a Buddha. It symbolizes the intelligence of the Lord, illumination. He comes as a Lord Ram. According to Jayadeva Goswami, he symbolizes the morality of Krishna. Lord Ram is the morality of Krishna. And Krishna, what is Krishna? He symbolizes the beauty of Krishna, of God. Like Srimati Radharani symbolizes the devotion, the happiness of Krishna. It's something that is going on in the heart of Krishna. I cannot, just like, if someone removes the heart from your body, or removes, your happiness, then you'll be depressed eternally. You can't function. Your happiness is the most dear thing to you. Even between husband and wife, we think, the wife is the happiness of the husband, and the vice versa. Or the children, they are the happiness of the father or the mother. But according to the Acharya, our own happiness, internal potency, is the most dear to us. Because you can survive and again be happy within yourself. Atmaram, self-satisfied. That's what the Lord is. Now, the happiness of Krishna is none other than Srimati Radharani. So if he has a very intimate affair with his own happiness, we can't criticize him. Just like, a friend of mine who became Franciscan priest. We were brought up in a Catholic monastery together. And I defeated him in his argument. Because I gave him a Krishna book, to understand a little bit more. He said, but you, God, so many women, so many affairs, and blah, blah, blah. I said, what's wrong with a God to have an affair with his own happiness? If you go in a corner over there, you sit down there, and you enjoy, your own internal feeling. That's why Radharani is called the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. It's his pleasure. It belongs to him. So if he has an affair, intimate affair with his own happiness, it's not an adultery, is it? It's a very crude example, how to explain. For those who criticize God, and even if he has an affair with all of us, with all the women in the world, like Shivaram Swami said, our wife, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, my wife, my children, they're all yours. We're all from the happiness, internal potency of the Lord of Krishna, of the Lord. And we're part of that happiness. And if he has an affair with any one of us, there is nothing immoral. And Radharani is the pleasure potency of Krishna. She expands, into Sita, Rukmini, and so many other wives of Krishna. But they are all his internal potency. So anyone challenges you, and anyone who criticizes your God, that is actually a debauchee, you can explain to them, about there is nothing wrong for God to have an affair with his own happiness. And you can't take it away. We can't take away, we cannot separate. That's why Krishna becomes the most pleased and happy when we, like Radharani does, when we push somebody else towards him. Because we are all part of his happiness. When we try to reunite Radha and Krishna, it's like, bringing the happiness of Krishna more close to him, back to him. Lord Chaitanya was feeling like that. He was feeling like that, and that's why, he was always in the mood of Radharani. Where are you, Krishna? Where are you? So, and we as a preacher, especially, Prabhupada said that's why book distributors, they're like gopis, on the level of the gopis. If you do book distribution properly, or even a chanting Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra, Kirtan, and you bring people close to Krishna, that is the mood of the gopi. It means, you are bringing a conditioned soul a little bit more close to God. And that makes him happy. God becomes happy because part and parcel of his happiness is given back to him. This is the meaning of book distribution, Sankirtan. When you invite a conditioned soul to please wake up and come back to your source, to your original abode. You belong to Krishna. And then the books, they will do the rest. They're like the map, The books, you open up the map, and then if you're lost, then they'll tell you where to go, left or right, up and down. So books are like the maps. And this material world is like a labyrinth. So the books, Bhagavad Gita, shows you the path. That's how you come back to your house, to your home. So, anyway, Lord Brahma, he finished praying, and the Lord empowered him. And he was amazed to see the Lord, in this ferocious causal, what do you call it? Ocean. Causal ocean. And the waves, they were very scaring for Lord Brahma. And he saw this beautiful personality resting on this cooling snake, namely Ananta Shesha. Bhagavatam, describes very beautifully. And the Lord was on Yoga Nidra. Lord Brahma disturbed him, with his own prayers. Yoga, very peaceful. The waves, they were like... but he was very peacefully enjoying his own happiness. And Lord Brahma, on top of the flower, he was offering prayers. And the Lord was not being disturbed or being deterred by the distractions of the environment, very wild, violent environment. big, huge waves. I've seen sometimes in movies, people there on the ships, they're holding on to the rope. And scary, to not fall in the sea. But the Lord, he was not like that. He was actually peacefully resting on this beautiful Anantashesha, Lord Balaram. And Lord Brahma, he wakes him up. And the last prayer, does anybody remember what was the last words of Lord Brahma? I think Vaisheshika Prabhu gave a class on this. I mean, you come every day for class, you should know more than me. What was the last prayers of Lord Brahma? You're looking on the computer, you're cheating. Yes? Beautiful! Give him a round of applause. Like Trump says, beautiful. It's very interesting because that is the protection that we all needed to invoke from the Lord after our austerity. Even before I go out on book distribution, my dear Lord, protect me, because, and empower me. And also there was another said, make me understand that you are the door. Or whatever I'm about to do, which means to create, protect me. You are correct. Protect me that I don't fall in the illusion that is my work. Sometimes we become empowered preacher. And we think, oh, look how advanced I've become. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu is such a humble devotee. He never thinks for 1 second in his mind, look how advanced I have become, in distributing books, in, preaching, in delivering the Bhagavatam. I was joking, when in the street we were on Sangitan the other day, and he was coming towards me with all his entourage. So I placed the book in his hands and I said, "Excuse me, are you from America or Iceland?" It was a joke anyway. He said, "I'm from America." I said, "No, because if you're from Iceland, we are selling ice to Eskimos." In other words, we're selling books to book distributors. So I put Prabhupada's book in his hand. He said, "Oh, I like that. I have to." He didn't, it was a joke, familiarity, He didn't say, "Oh, the way I approach people, it's much more, or get out of the way, I'm doing some books, or whatever." It was like, he genuinely liked it. He said, "Do you say that to people?" I said, no, I just said it to you to make a joke, because I was trying to sell a book to a book distributor as a joke. And he liked it. But the idea is, Lord Brahma is inviting us to never become proud of our work. No matter how successful we become, whether it's a Lord Brahma creating, whether it's a guru who's got thousands of disciples, as soon as he thinks, "Oh, I'm powerful, look what I've done, look what I have achieved," or as soon as he starts to compete with other guru, he's got 3,000 guru, I have to have a 4,000. That's mundane calculation. No. Krishna is empowering each one of us accordingly to do our own work successfully. And the credit, like Lord Brahma said, always make me thinking that you are the Adikarta, the doer. Sometimes we win a marathon and we take the glorification, but we pass on the glories to Lord Chaitanya. Without being empowered by Lord Chaitanya, we can never understand the success in spiritual life. So whoever we are, whether today we have more knowledge than yesterday or tomorrow we will be more advanced, the best thing is always to give the credit to Krishna or to the spiritual master. Anything good we do, we pass on the credit to them, to Srila Prabhupada, to our Guru, to Krishna. Anything foolish we do, we pass on the credit to ourselves. That is a good credit because it makes us humble. I said, I think a couple of years ago, I was sitting here, and before class I had a beautiful realization. That morning I woke up. Would you like to know what it was? Devotees, they thought it was great philosophic, spiritual realization. But my realization was Hare Krishna Partha Prabhu. Hare Krishna. My realization that morning was very simple. I realized how fallen I am. That was after 40 years in Krishna consciousness. I realized that morning how fallen I am, how many bad habits I have. Sometimes we like to remember all the good things we do. Just like, every time I go out, I give some prasad to a homeless person or do something or distribute a few books. Or like Lord Chaitanya says, wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them something about Krishna. And that's good. But I don't try to dwell on that and say, oh, I've done that today, so I'm proud of it. We tend, as a conditioned soul, like Prabhupada said at the end of the purport, the mentality of the conditioned soul is to think, that how great he is. And the mistake is to always dwell, on the good things that we do, and then we forget all our sins. But if the other way around, we remember all the foolish things we have done, all our sins, and forget about all the good things. That's what Krishna wants us to do. Of course, we don't want to dwell on our sinful activity, but it's good to remember where were we before we became a devotees? How many bad habits we had? And all flew away, by Krishna's mercy. And because of the work of Krishna and the Guru and the association of devotees. So we have become better people, liberated. So a humble person always remember the habits that, that's why the Acharya, who are the Acharya, they always feel, they are not qualified to be in the association of the devotees and Krishna because they are in that mood. They always think how fallen I am. Look at the old Sharanagati of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. That's the embodiment of humility. I'm nobody. I'm a sinful man. I'm a wretched man. I'm this, I'm that. And that is not a false, false statement. He's feeling like that. Even the Acharya who wrote a Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he always feels meek and humble, that he doesn't have any qualifications. So anyway, Lord Brahma, yes, thank you. The last prayer was, always protect me, my Lord. And that is the prayer even for myself. I was not really prepared for this class. Forgive me, if I was in many places. It was short notice. But usually I read the verse in evening, and then wake up in the morning and something is cooked up, It's always like that. But I always pray to the Lord, Mukham karoti vachalam pangalam gayate gire. By the mercy of the Lord, that the spiritual master, a lame man can cross mountains, blind man can see stars in the sky, and a dumb man like me can speak few words on the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. I don't have any other qualification. Thank you very much. Any questions? If there is any disagreement in what I said, please correct me. But if you agree, and you have some comment or whatever. Yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for class. Just shortly, in the beginning you mentioned that if a Sankirtan devotee discharge his service, the Sankirtan in a good way, with a good consciousness. So if you could say something about what is the good consciousness of a Sankirtan devotee.
The good consciousness of Sankirtan devotee. It means that it's the prayer of the famous prayer of Saint Francis. My dear Lord, please make me a channel of your peace. Make me an instrument. We have no qualification. We don't know what to say to people. I mean, on the second day I was thrown in the street and I didn't know what to say to people. Prabhupada was like that, he threw a devotee out of the train. He said, you go and open a temple. So it starts with surrender. You pray to Krishna, just like Lord Brahma. You don't know what to do, what to say. So good consciousness is when you remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And my dear Lord, guide me. You lead the chariot of my life. You guide me towards people, and I'll just, as a puppet, give out the books. And you move my tongue, and as a puppet, I can speak. You give me the enthusiasm. As a puppet, I can entertain people. You please give me the intelligence. Tadami buddhi yogantam. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, for those who surrender to me, I give them the intelligence. These are all the tools that are given by the Lord. But the secret is surrender. If you go out, and even if you are a new devotee, and you can't surrender like a Brahma or your spiritual master, just say, for these next 5 hours or 6 hours, I'm yours. Just surrender for those hours that you are out there in the street. Like I go out every day for 3 hours. And I say, my dear Lord, I just speak in English. I don't know how to pray like Lord Brahma. But I talk to the Lord in English. Today I'm yours. Make me your puppet. I'll surrender to you for 3 hours. But it doesn't mean, when you finish, then you could do all sorts of nonsense, and afterwards, and you go back to your independence. But no, it's service, Sankirtan. If you surrender, you are successful, then you are happy doing it. And that's the secret that keeps you going out every day. And then it's like, you eat a little bit of prasad, and then, you are hungry again, and you go back, eat again. You can't expect that book distribution makes you a pure devotee in one day. It's like, giving a big feast to a baby, he'll get sick. If you put a book distributor for 24 hours on the first day, he'll get burned out, then he won't go out anymore. He'll get sick. So you give the taste, like Vaisheshika Prabhu is always fan the spark. Give a taste to new devotees. Let them watch you at least. And then they could do for an hour. Whatever you could do, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. But it requires surrender. That's the secret. All right? Thank you very much. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna